Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Right, I'm gonna take you through a video today of 5 handy gym accessories, or gym accessories slash tools, which I feel are very useful in many aspects of strength training. Right, first one I'm going to take you through: resistant bands. These things can only add resistance, but they can also assist in many bodyweight exercises. I feel it's quite important to have at least a couple of different sizes. Obviously, the thicker the band, that's the thinner one, the harder it is, that the extra resistance it shall be. However, when it comes to assisting, I will show you examples later on. Heavier bands can actually assist you more so, can it be more beneficial for those people that are slightly weaker. Whereas assisting of this kind of band is not going to help you quite as much. The next two is kind of self-explanatory, this one. 2 examples of pull-up bars. This one I've had for well over 10 years, so it's you know, benefited me massively. This one from UMI. I only got this Christmas time last year, so but it's fantastic. It's really good, this thing. I shall do a dedicated video reviewing this product, going through the pros and cons and comparing it to this kind of style doorway pull-up bar. I feel these two, it's training tool. There's a lot of body weight euthanists out there know how important a pull-up bar is. It's, you know, what can I say? You can do pull-ups, chin-ups, and all the other kind of variations of those to foundation exercises. Again, I shall take you through examples, exercise examples on using those. Right, the next one, gymnast rings. These things, what can I say? They're another fantastic training tool. However, I would say this tool in particular, very tricky to use, I suppose. Yeah. They're definitely not for beginners. That's all I can say. I definitely say these are for at least intermediate level. You know, get your strength levels up on basic exercises before utilising these in your training program, because it takes a lot of effort putting in. Using your exercises into using these, because these are a lot of stabilising muscles. It recruits a hell of a lot of muscles. It's not just the performing of them, but it's balancing, executing the balancing on them. Again, I'll show some examples later on. Last but not least, it's not really a training tool as such. It's more of a recovery, recovering from your workouts, from your off days, or even after your workouts. Is one of these balls, massage balls. Yes, you can get the rollers, the foam rollers, which can be as effective. The reason I would prefer this over a foam roller, you can get into very tight spots, specifically around your back, and much denser muscle tissue, like on the back of your legs, back of your hamstrings, your calves in particular. But I just generally find that it's more practical because it's smaller for starters. You know, it's more portable, so you can take it, you know, away, say on, you know, on your travels on holiday somewhere with you. Whereas foam rollers are generally a lot bigger. I mean, it's great. You know, say for example, you know, if you've woke up with a stiff neck, you know, you can easily just, you know, lie back on it on your sofa while you're watching TV and just roll on it. You know, it's fantastic. You know, it's helped me out so many occasions with pulling muscles, just generally sore from a hard session. Fantastic. And this only cost me £10 from Amazon. You know, it's you can't argue with that price, can you? Really, and what you get from it. Again, I shall take you through examples of how to use this later on in the video. So the first examples I'm going to show you are going to be band resisted exercises. Right, the first one is push up. Now you've got to wrap it, loop it round the upper back like so. Loop it around your thumbs like so. Now this, well, I'm pretty, you know, proficient on push-ups. It's gonna probably almost be at max resistance, pretty much, because double band. Okay, to make this a bit easier, you would simply just take single band, pull it through your whole body, like so. Okay, that is gonna decrease the resistance. Whereas this, because it's double band, it's gonna make it a lot harder. Okay, so obviously you want to be pretty good, pretty solid on your basic push-ups to begin with. I'm going to assume, obviously, the wider you take your arms, outside shoulder width, again, the more resistance. There's so many ways of, you know, adjusting your resistance. That's what's so good about bands. I mean, again, I could make that even harder by placing my hands even further down, like so. That is going to make it even harder in the bottom position, because as you saw in the previous example, the band was quite loose in the bottom position, so I didn't really have much resistance. Whereas now, I have more resistance, even in the bottom. Right, the next exercise, I'm using a thicker band, because I'm going to do band squats. And for this, right, to make the exercise harder, it's all about your foot positioning. Yeah, like the wider your stance, the harder it's going to be. The closer your feet are, the easier it's going to be, because you got less resistance on the band. So I'm going to go like that. And what I'm going to do is put over my shoulders, like so. There is a couple of ways of doing this. This is just one way of doing it. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to then squat down. Right, the other way of doing it, again, it all depends how. If you decide to stand on both bands, it's going to make it much harder. single, make it much easier. Right. I'm going to need to hold it a bit more at the bottom, so there. Okay, that's... The next exercise, I'm going to do band resisted pull-ups. These are a little bit hard to set up because you need an anchor point to fix the band to. I've got a kettlebell here. You could either use, you know, a heavy kettlebell or a heavy dumbbell if you've got one. It's pretty hard to set this one up, so I don't recommend this for the person that's got a, that's the minimalist pretty much. Anyway, here's the example. I'm gonna wrap it. I'm gonna hook it round my bottom of my waist. And from there I'm going to do pull-ups. Okay, for my next demonstrations I'm going to do 3 example of assisted exercises with resistant bands. I'm going to demonstrate with the thinner band. What we're going to do, we're going to loop it over the pull-up bar here, and we're going to get one end and thread it through and pull it. That simple. What we're going to do, I'm going to show an example of an assisted band push-up. So what we're going to do is, going to wrap it, going to get inside it, have it so it's round about sort of the top of your abs. And we're going to come down into a push-up position. And from here, you can press down. What this band is doing is on the concentric phase, the band is springing back up, therefore it's taking a percentage of your body weight away from you, in theory. And you'll find people that struggle on push-ups, this is a great variation to use. Assisted band dips. Next, I'm going to show you gymnastic rings. A couple of exercises I'm going to show you that are very specific to gymnastic rings in particular, and I'll also show you the setup, because when I first bought these, I didn't really know how to properly set them up. If you don't set these up properly, they can slip and obviously can be quite dangerous if not used properly. Right, anyway. Make sure you get the metal buckle put over the fixed anchor point. In my example, it's going to be this pull-up bar. So you want to pull that over. With the other end, you want to make sure it's not all twisted up and whatnot. With the other end, you want to put the gymnastic ring through the strap. And then this end is going to want to come from underneath, not from that way, from underneath. like that. Then you have to push the clip down in order to pull the strap through. And then to your desired height. Making sure both rings, if you're using 2 rings, are at the same height. Some good gymnastic rings have actual markers on them, so you can actually, it's easier to work out they're both at the exact right height. But in my case, for the ones I've got, I have to do it by eye, unfortunately. Okay, that's about right. What I tend to do with all the loose end of the strap, I tend to just hang it on top of the pull-up bar so they're out of the way and I don't get all tangled up in it. Right. So what I'm going to perform ring flies. These are definitely not a beginner exercise. I'd definitely say these are more definitely intermediate level for sure, because they are very, very hard exercise on your chest and on your biceps and shoulders. So what we're going to do, almost assume like a push-up position, and then from there we're going to slowly control the descent to where there, and pull back up. Ring dips. So I'm going to push down on the clip, so I need them to be high now, so I need the foot clearance. So yeah, I'd say around about sort of just slightly above waist height for this exercise. Have them slightly wider apart, about there. I've done this for a while. Ring dips. Very good exercise, very tough. Highly recommend them. Ring rows, the next exercise. The last examples, I'm going to show you a few little exercises to make using a massage ball a little bit easier on yourself. To begin with, I'm not going to lie, it's painful. You do get used to it very, very quickly, believe me, you do. Right, I'm going to show you probably the least painful way of using this. We're going to do it against a wall, and I'm going to hit my back muscles. So you're simply going to put the ball between your back and the wall, you can see, and from here you just simply move down. If you need to readjust, you can always use your hand, if need be, to find a particularly tight muscle or sore muscle. A a good thing to do with this ball, if you have got a particularly tight area or a very sore spot, is to roll around gently in that one area and hold it for a few seconds. Maybe put a bit more pressure on it by pressing your feet back into it a bit more. Right, example 2, we're going to be on the floor and going to hit the back of the back of the arm, particularly triceps area. You don't have to have an elevated surface like I've done here, but it will make things a bit easier if you do have an elevated surface. And what we're going to do from here, simply roll, try and find any particular very sore spots, hold it if need be, put a bit more pressure on it with a bit more body weight put on top of the ball. Biceps a little bit more difficult, you kind of have to get more onto the floor. You could actually roll all the way up. Roll all the way up to your shoulder. Get those front deltoids. Okay, and I'll show you hip one. I particularly use this ball a hell of a lot on my hips because I do have tight hips. I like using this before my leg workout. It just helps with my opening up my hips a bit more. I get very tight hips sometimes. So yeah, simply place it on the floor, between the floor and your hip, and then we're going to roll. Hold. One piece of advice I would give anyone who's going to use one of these, try wear tight fitting clothing. Loose fitting clothing is only going to get caught up in this ball. I don't know if you noticed my last video, my last clip, my top kind of got a little bit caught up in it. So yeah, definitely recommend nice tight fitting clothing when using this if you're wearing clothing. You could do it onto bare skin. I can't see no issue in doing that. It's going to be a little bit more painful directly onto your skin, but it'll work wonders in the long run. Believe me, it's worth that little bit of pain. If you take a bit of pain. The most important training tool, in my opinion, that I think a lot of people should use if they want to succeed in getting stronger and improving themselves in so many ways when it comes to strength training, is a training journal. For those people that would prefer to get a training app, that's fair enough. I understand for some of those people that prefer to be a bit more up to date on modern tech, that's up to them. I'm more of an old school guy when it comes to tracking my progress. You can't go wrong with a notepad and a pen, and just simply track your progress from workout to workout. Simply because how do you know what you've done last month? How do you know if you're progressing? How do you know if you're improving? How do you know if you're doing more reps, doing more sets, increasing your overload, your poundage? All of this, in my personal opinion, I know there's a lot of people out there that have this same frame of mind as me, knows how important it is to track your progress. You don't have to write it down on like this, on paper. That's fine. If you don't want to do that, put it in on your phone. Track it on your phone. Use WordPad or, use an app if you want to use a training app. I know people out there like using training apps. I personally prefer this. So this, in my opinion, is the #1 training tool. It's worth making the effort, that little bit more effort, if you want to improve yourself immensely. Thank you for those that have watched this video. I hope the information was useful to you and benefited you in some or another. Please give a thumbs up, comment and subscribe. It'd be most appreciated. Any kind of feedback, negative, positive, just please give some feedback. It'd be most appreciated. It could help me in future videos, and maybe even post comments on ideas for future videos that may benefit people out there. Thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.